5 years ago, Blockbuster was the place to rent movies. Google was just a search engine, a smartphone required a stylus, and Apple was that other company that did cool things with MP3 players. A lot has changed in 5 years, and having the knowledge of where things are and where they are heading will enable us to see how our future will look. In the near future, devices will play a bigger role and will eventually replace computers in many jobs and homes. When Ray Ozzie left Microsoft, he created a detailed blog post about his vision to that date and his expectation of the future. One quote stands out: "We're moving toward a world of cloud-based continuous services that connect us all and do our bidding, and appliance-like connected devices enabling us to interact with those cloud-based services. To understand this future, we must look at the direction in which the technology is heading. First of all, smartphones are gaining ground. Nielsen projects that smartphone sales will overtake feature phone sales next year. And the iPad hasn't even been on the scene for 3 quarters, and already the aftermath is being felt. Best Buy's CEO has said that laptop sales have been cannibalized by 50%. Ace's CEO has blamed a recent downgrade in netbook shipment forecasts on the iPad. The consumer market is already shifting. How big are tablets? The iPad has been out for 7 months and has already become the most quickly adopted non-phone electronic product of all time. It's on target to sell 50 million units in its first 3 years. IDC is projecting that sales of smartphones and tablets combined will surpass PC sales in the beginning of 2012. Digging a little deeper, we see that the iPad, currently the only contender for tablets, accounts for more revenue for Apple than their entire product line did 10 years prior. But one of the major keys to platform adoption is content. Microsoft won the desktop war with Apple, partially due to Lotus 1-2-3. Additionally, at the time, software was readily available for DOS and hard to find for Apple. This content over platform choice happened with many other platform wars over the years in many different venues. So where is the content going? Digital. 2.5 years ago, Apple's iTunes overtook Walmart's brick-and-mortar stores to become the #1 music store in the world. To date, over 12 billion songs have been downloaded. That's over 40 songs for every man, woman, and child in the United States. And for the first time ever in 2010, digital download game sales outpaced physical boxed retail games. Additionally, 50% of the portable gaming market now belongs to iOS alone, a format that uses no physical media. But it's not just high-tech. This year, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos stated that Kindle ebook sales have outsold hardcover sales nearly 2-to-1. Additionally, he projects they will overtake paperbacks next year. But some of the strongest growth has been in apps, particularly in mobile apps. More apps are being downloaded than songs on Apple's iTunes, accounting for more than 7 billion to date in only about 2.5 years' time. More importantly, people are beginning to latch on to this new platform. Smartphones are just beginning to account for about half of phone sales, and app platforms are just gaining ground. Still, nearly 1 in every 4 U.S. adults are using mobile apps. And people are moving to digital content in movies too. This year, both Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video filed for bankruptcy. At the same time, in their most recent quarterly report, Netflix stated they are primarily a streaming company. And in the last 6 months, their stock price has gone up 80%. Other platforms such as iTunes have seen tremendous growth, selling hundreds of millions of videos online and untold rentals. There's been a lot of conversation recently about print being dead. Perhaps it's not dead. Perhaps, like all other media, this is its time to go digital. Richard Branson just released a new, highly publicized magazine for the iPad entitled Project. Additionally, many newspapers such as the New York Times, USA Today, and the Wall Street Journal have made their way to the iPad. We've looked at the direction that technology and content is heading. Mobile is making great strides and gaining ground, and the content is going digital, and those who own this digital content will have a strong hold on this space, as people will need a way to consume this digital media. So let's see what this market looks like. In 3 years' time, Symbian went from owning over 2/3 of the global market to fighting to hold on to just over 1/3. Adding insult to injury, a Gartner analyst compared the upcoming changes in Symbian to rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. In the meantime, Android took 1/4 of the market, grabbing a strong lock on the second-place position in just over 2 years' time. Apple's iOS placed a respectable third place at 17%, and RIM came in at fourth at 15%, higher than their share 3 years ago but declining in the last year. Finally, Microsoft dropped to an almost invisible 3%. In the US market, RIM dropped a full 15% to fall just behind Apple into second place. Android again placed very well in third place at 23%. Microsoft's share dropped by nearly 1/3. In company health, Apple took top honors with a stock price over 2,000% higher than it was 10 years ago, and over 120% higher than it was 2 years ago. Apple also overtook Google and Microsoft earlier this year to become the #1 technology company in the world by market cap. In the 6 years that Google has gone public, their stock price has grown nearly 400%. RIM's stock price has grown over 200% in 10 years' time, but has decreased in the last 2 years. Other than Google's 2-year numbers, every other number on this chart shows negative growth, with Nokia showing the largest decrease with over a 70% drop in 10 years' time. Additionally, Apple has a healthy PE ratio of 20, Google has a strong ratio of 25, Microsoft's ratio is weak at 12, HP Palm is solid at 18, RIM's is soft at 11, and Nokia's is fair at 14. In customer satisfaction, the numbers show 2 companies lead the pack. In a recent customer phone satisfaction survey, Apple garnered nearly 800 out of 1,000. Motorola and HTC, sporting mostly Android devices at the time this hardware-centered survey was given, ranked very near to Apple. Another survey of smartphone and feature phone owners determined the percentage of people who were looking to buy phones of different types. Apple's iOS and Android were at the top of the list, with others trailing far behind. The most telling details for customer satisfaction come from the detail of smartphone owners. Of those who own an Android phone, a large percentage, 71%, plan to purchase another Android phone. However, more than 1 in 5 want to switch to an iPhone. Of iPhone owners, almost all wish to purchase another iPhone. And finally, of owners with RIM devices, more than half wish to switch to iPhone or Android. Lastly, a significant draw of any platform is the number of apps available. To date, Apple's iOS has over 300,000 apps, Android has over 100,000, RIM has over 10,000, WebOS has over 5,000, and Windows Phone 7 has over 3,000. So the mobile market is growing, and devices both in phones and other portable devices are set to overtake other, more traditional platforms. And with content going digital, more and more of these devices will be poised to consume this digital content, and the players that own this content are in the position to own this market. The mobile space is definitely growing. Making wise decisions about how to use this market will make for powerful and exciting possibilities in this changing technical world.